What's up, guys? Back with the Lexus NX350, and what we're going to be doing today is a comparison video between the Lexus NX350 and the Mercedes-Benz GLB 250 that we just traded in on this vehicle. Now, there are some pros and cons of both vehicles, and I wanted to do this video because I believe that if you're looking at a Lexus, you possibly may be looking at the Mercedes as well, because I believe these vehicles are a direct competition to each other, and we have owned both. We did own the Mercedes up until, like, I think it had close to 40,000 miles on it, 30-some thousand miles on it, I think it was, when we traded it for this. So we did put several miles on that vehicle. I've taken it to Florida several times and other states as well. So I have a lot of seat time in that vehicle. I have a limited amount of seat time in this vehicle, but I can already tell you there are some pros and cons of both vehicles. And let's get this video started and I'll tell you what those are. Okay guys, we're gonna start this video off inside the vehicle. When I shut this door, it gets really quiet. And the Lexus, or the Mercedes, was not this quiet inside. You had a lot of road noise, in my opinion, and I just don't hear the road noise in this vehicle like I did the Mercedes. And the Mercedes just allowed more noise in, just in general. And if we turn on the vehicle, I guess I'll be to start. All right, we turn on the vehicle. You can see this big screen coming up here and everything starts loading up in here. I do like the layout of the screen on the Lexus a little better than I do the Mercedes. If we go over here, I believe the infotainment system is a little more intuitive to use. And if you push this button right here, you get all your lane departure and all that stuff that comes up that you can change and control. And it was a little harder to get to that stuff on the Mercedes, in my opinion. Now, if we come up here to the dash, let me see if I can get this in. You can kind of see that right there, how it has the heads-up display right here. If you just like swipe over these buttons right here, the Mercedes didn't have that, but if you swipe over this button, it comes up with all your driving control on the right-hand side. If you swipe over the buttons on the left-hand side, all your radio stuff comes up, and the Mercedes just didn't have that. You don't even have to touch this stuff. You just kind of have to swipe over it, and then it pops up. So then you have full control of your driving right there, and you don't have to take your eyes off the road at any given time because all your display is right there. And that is way better than the Mercedes. I'm not sure if the Mercedes offers that. They may do it. Ours did not have that. But to me, that is something that's a little better about the Lexus, because you can control all that with your hands on the steering wheel and you do not have to move your hands. Now, I do also want to say that while driving both vehicles, the Mercedes felt faster. The dual clutch transmission in the Mercedes shifted gears way quicker than the clutch in this, which I do not believe the Lexus has a dual clutch. That dual clutch was just way quicker and the car felt faster. On paper, it claims that the Lexus is faster, 0 to 60. But from my seat time, it does not feel that way. The Mercedes felt like it was way quicker. The Lexus feels like it handles better. But straight out of the gate, the Mercedes felt better, and a lot of that probably had to do with how quickly that dual clutch transmission would shift gears comparable to the Lexus. Some other things that the Mercedes was a little bit better at was the seats. Let me show you. Okay, now this is your Lexus seat right here. Great bolsters, really secure. It has better bolsters than the Mercedes had, but the Mercedes had a feature in it that I feel is better than the feature on the Lexus. And there was a spot right here in the front on the Lexus that when I was driving and my legs started getting fatigued, I could push a button, and some of them even had this electric. You can push a button, or if it's electric, you push a button on this door, and this piece would slide out and give you more support under your legs. And you can see there's nothing like this on the Mercedes. And for long trips, I think that will help a lot, because my legs did get very tired on some long trips and stuff. And just by pulling that little extension out, it would add support under my legs and just give me a little bit of relief from that fatigue I was starting to feel on those long trips, on those long drives. But there are some drawbacks to the Mercedes that I feel like this probably isn't going to have. The Mercedes actually had to have the head replaced on it. 2.5, 3 years into ownership, and that is a common problem with the Mercedes. They say they got it fixed. When they put the new head on, they said you shouldn't have that issue anymore. But at 30-some thousand miles, we still had to have the head replaced, and it didn't take long to do it. They were very good at that, which tells me that they've done it several times. I don't think you're going to have the problem with that with this Lexus. Toyota, which everybody knows Lexus is just a fancy Toyota, is known for the reliability. So I don't think you're going to have an issue where you have to take your Lexus in and have the head replaced. That's just me feeling. I don't know that. I've owned several Toyotas and had no issues like that with any of them. So I think the Lexus, Toyota, what are you going to call it, is going to be more reliable than the Mercedes. And Mercedes is not known for the best reliability anyway. So if you're looking for a lot of luxury, the Lexus might be the better option just because you may not have as much issue with it. Now, again, those bolsters, let's talk about those bolsters. Now, I am about 215-ish pounds. I fit pretty good in this seat. The bottom of the seat is a little narrow. I will say that. You do have some bolsters right here as well. The bottom is a little narrow, but the top bolsters fit me very well. But if you're above about 200 and let's say 25 to 30 pounds, you may not fit in the F Sport seats as well. So you may not want to get the F Sport if you're a little on the husky side. I'm just saying, I'm trying to save you all a little bit of backache. If you're above 230 pounds, test drive one very well and make sure that you fit in there good enough that you're not going to get cramped up or something while you're driving the vehicle. That being said, if you are a little bit on the thicker side, the Mercedes may have had a better seat up at the top as well. It didn't have as big of bolsters, so you might fit in it. But there again, there are a negative side. The Mercedes, the first few months we owned it, had to have the windshield wiper motor replaced. Again, another downside to the reliability. The windshield wiper started messing up. We had it in Mercedes like 3 times. And finally, they got that fixed. I've documented that on this channel in the past. If you want to see those videos, you can go back and look them up. But I've documented that. They had it in the shop, I think, like I said, 3 or 4 times. And finally, Mercedes said, just replace the windshield wiper motor. And that did finally fix it. I never felt fully comfortable taking that vehicle back out after that when it rained. I always had that in the back of my mind. I was thinking, this thing may stop at any moment. So there again, the reliability is a little sketchy on the Mercedes. Now, that was the first year they made those, and they may have improved that by now. I'm just telling you my experience of an example of one. But we've not had any issues like that with this so far. I will say, after we had the head replaced, going back to the head issue, we did drive that to Florida with no issues and brought it back home just fine and then traded in on this. I do want to say, though, anytime a very little pebble hit the windshield of the Mercedes, it cracked. Let me show you something. Now, I don't believe this is a little pebble, but cracked. 1,400 miles, like 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks after owning this, our windshield is cracked. So both vehicles seem to kind of have weak windshields, in my opinion. But there is more room in the Mercedes. I will say that. So if you're a taller person like me, you may fit a little bit better in the Mercedes. I had a little bit more leg room. There's more room in the back seat of the Mercedes than there is this NX350. But overall, I think with the more tech that you have on this vehicle, like I said, again, you can get more tech on the Mercedes than probably what we had. I'm not sure if they offer the same amount of tech, but with the amount of tech that we have on this versus the one we have, I think it's a little bit of a safer vehicle in my opinion. And overall, I think it's a more reliable vehicle in my opinion. Even though we have had an issue with this, I do want to come clean on that. The key fob battery did go dead. I've talked about this on this channel before. You have to pry open a spot on the door handle to get your key in, and we did scratch the vehicle. They replaced the battery. The they had a glitch in the app as well at the same time, so you couldn't unlock the vehicle with the app either. So they had to reset all that, and after they've done that, we've had no more issues, other than the fact this does keep happening. Used to, you could push the button on the door and it would unlock both sides. They reset that where it would do it again because it stopped doing it, and now it stopped doing it again. It only unlocks the driver's side. I don't know why that keeps glitching out. There is a little glitch there. I'll let you all know if I figure out why that keeps doing that. But other than that, that's the only issues that we've had with this vehicle so far. Battery went dead in the remote and a glitch with the app. That happens, I guess. Technology kills reliability. I've said that for years and years and years, and I'll keep saying that for years and years and years. But overall, I do believe that the engine and drivetrain in the Lexus NX350 will be more reliable and a better drivetrain than the Mercedes. In my opinion, it's just not as fast. So don't always believe everything you read on paper. Because I have driven both, and I do believe the Mercedes is quicker. So if you're looking for speed, that dual clutch is going to be everything you could ever want, probably in a little SUV. But if you want something you're not going to have to take into the shop and get fixed, this is probably the way to go. If you have any questions about the GLB 250 or the NX 350, leave them in the comment section below. I will try to answer them to the best of my ability because I have some experience in both vehicles, and I appreciate you watching this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys. We'll see you next time.